call the police station subcommittee meeting to order. And with that being said, I will just turn it over to Matt Shortsleeve for a brief presentation on his solar array project.
Thanks for having me. I'm Matt Shortsleeve. I'm with Select Energy out of Hopkinton. We're a solar developer, installer, and service company. We've done about 500 commercial projects in Massachusetts over the last 9 years. And we do a lot of public work. And we get there through an organization called Power Options. They're a membership consortium, and they have 500 members who join to collect their bargaining power, their buying power. And Power Options goes to RFP on behalf of the members for energy programs, electricity, natural gas, and solar. And we've done about 70 projects under this RFP award that we won. And these are on-site solar power purchase agreements where we come in and work with the community, whoever the customer is, and we put together, you know, a design and an offer and a price, and the contract that was part of the procurement is, it says that we'll pay to install it and to maintain it and then to take it away at the end, and you'll buy all the electricity and give me either a lease or an easement to have my equipment, to have access to be able to install it and then to service it. And so we have been trying to reach out to, we've been really working on a couple of fronts. One is you know, separate from this committee's work, but the regional school district and their, you know, elementary school up the street is a potential site for an agreement between Select and Freetown Lakeville. And we would need to, if that's either going to be a roof or a parking canopy project to look at. The roof's way cheaper and the savings is way higher. They don't know if they can put it on a roof. The roof's pretty old. The second alternative, or the alternative, is to put it in the parking lot. So we've been planning to reach out to David or town officials to talk about if we were to come in and do something. There are a couple things we want to work with you on, and that's just recently the Division of Local Services has begun advocating and telling assessors to enter pilot agreements with third-party owned solar owners, right? So it's been tax exempt forever when it's at a building and you're using it, but like for instance the one over here in Little Quiticus, I'm sure there's some sort of pilot or community agreement.
I did explain to Matt that that's not the way we handle those type of arrangements.
So we just started talking about it 20 minutes ago. So we were planning on calling you about that, and if it has to go on the ground, we work with the Planning Board and Conservation Commission, if applicable, and all that good stuff. So we're planning to come down and talk to you about it anyway. We also we keep track of what new buildings are going in, and if they're going to use solar energy, could we be the provider of that, right? So we've been calling on Pomeroy, and the conversations are, hey, it's going up. It looks like it, you know, was designed to have some. It can accept solar on the property. We haven't done any designs or economics on it at this point. This was a, would you guys like to be interested in, would you be interested in having us put something together for you, and what would that look like? And so I wanted to get in front of you early and at least timely process. I know that you guys are looking at occupancy sometime next year on that building, is that right?
Yeah, so Matt reached out to me. I then reached out to Lisa and asked, you know, do you want to have Matt here to, you know, give a little presentation and that kind of see what everybody's appetite is for, you know, at least getting maybe some sketches and some pricing. I don't think would hurt. So that's really about it. That's really the only reason Matt's here today. So.
Sure, question. What's the advantage to the town?
You save money,
How?
and it's renewable energy, if that's useful to some people.
How? do we save money? Do we get the benefit of the electricity you're generating?
Yeah, we install it and wire it behind your meter, and you'll consume the electricity, and we'll sell it to you really cheap.
And you're gonna sell it back to us?
Directly to,
discounted rate.
directly to, it's not net metering, it's not off-site. We wire it behind your meter,
Yeah.
you consume the solar electricity,
Okay.
and it's cheaper than what you're buying through the wires, the Eversource wires.
If you don't sell all of the electricity, do you source it out?
No, you buy it all, that's the agreement.
So
We only
we buy-
size
we
it
end
to
up
what you
with-
need, we don't build this
Alright.
giant thing and have
So-
excess.
So how do you guys make your money?
You buy the electricity, we get the state incentive, and we get a tax credit.
You're losing me. We buy the electricity from you guys?
Yeah.
The electricity that's generated?
Yeah.
What
So-
would the difference be between what we're paying per kilowatt or whatever, however it's measured now, versus what we would be paying under your program?
I have to design it first and run it through the economics to give you a proposal. I don't have a proposal for tonight's meeting, but I'll tell you that the one we're looking at for the district on Freetown Elementary's roof,
On the elementary school's roof?
it's about $30,000 in the first year. $30,000 saved versus doing nothing. So that today, they buy, let's use that as an example, right? We've done a lot of 70 of these projects under this procurement in the last 3.5 years. Nobody does it because it's green, everyone does it because it saves
Sure.
money. And then they say, and it's green too, that's awesome, we like that. But it's, cart, no, it's horse, then cart. So we design it, we figure out how big it is, how much energy is it gonna make, what would you avoid paying? So we'd work with Pomeroy to say, what's the forecast energy consumption gonna be at the building? How many kilowatt hours think you're gonna use? What's the class of meter? Probably like large commercial, B2, Eversource, something like that. We go, here's how big it is, here's how much energy it'll make, here's how much it costs to install, here's whatever some sort of tax expense is gonna be. And then, here's the rate, and it's a fixed price for 20 years. Price doesn't go up or down unless something crazy happens, like the assessor decides to get creative.
So you end up, we pay for a lower rate for electricity.
Yep,
You get the SRECs.
there are no SRECs, sir.
What are you getting?
There's a new program that started last fall. It's called.
That replaced the SRECs?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, but what is it that you get? You have to get something.
They're getting money from us every month.
We get money from you, get money from you too.
What's the credit that you get from the state?
You mean, what's the amount?
Yes.
I don't know yet.
You
I
don't
haven't run an analysis on this yet.
Wouldn't we be better off putting up our own solar panels?
I'd be happy to sell you a system and install it for you if you'd like to do that. If you guys have the money for that, I'd be happy to do it.
Yeah, I just wondered.
Yeah, you have to
Okay.
do a procurement for that, right? You're buying it, unless it's in the budget for what you guys already raised for capital, so, yeah,
I guess the other advantage from your side of things is you own any of the maintenance
Yeah.
of it, so if anything goes wrong, you're taking care of it.
yeah, we monitor it and at least once a year, we do preventive maintenance on
Yeah.
all the entire system, down to like torquing, making sure it's all mechanically right, but it's the electric stuff that you gotta maintain.
And you're managing the account. If the town buys it outright, you've gotta do all that yourself.
What are you managing if you buy it outright?
The electricity, the consumption, who you then selling it to.
No, you can utilize it
Yeah.
yourself. Anything extra you make, you get credits from the electric company.
Yep, it just goes forward on your bill.
Absolutely.
We wouldn't design it
Okay.
larger than
Absolutely.
it needs to be. So if you wanna
I
buy
know,
it,
I have a
let me know.
system
Me too.
that I own.
Awesome. I own mine. I bought mine in my house.
Absolutely. Bought my own. I get the SRECs because I came under the old system.
Great.
I get all my electricity paid for, and I get credits every month. The only time you have a problem is if you have, usually in the winter because the sun's lower, I might end up paying $100 out of the whole year.
So you sized it right. You sized it right.
Right.
And that's what we would do here.
Yeah.
Size it right.
And to me, I mean, why would we wanna pay you for 20 years? For,
Huh?
if we're still paying for
There's
electricity,
no
when you may
upfront
be able to make a
costs.
lot of electricity for a lot less
No
money,
upfront costs.
you know?
Yeah,
That's just my point.
I
That's all.
think we also have to look at what we're getting for net metering credits already, for all the departments in the area. So I think we'd have to look at that. Also, I have a question. I know you're working with the school department, but the town owns the building.
Yep.
The school department just leases the building for it.
Right.
So anything that goes onto that building would have to come in front of the town
Right.
and the board of selectmen.
yeah, so we did that with, you know, the town of Ashby Elementary, with the North Middlesex Regional School District, with the town of Rutland, with the Wachusett Regional School District. Somerset Berkeley Regional High School owns the building, that's not the Somerset's property, so the school committee chair signed the easement and the superintendent signed the power purchase agreement. So, people tend to do PPAs when they don't have the capital or don't wanna spend it, don't wanna deal with it, and it's a really good savings benefit. Other folks are like, I'm gonna buy it, and some folks don't do anything. So it's one of those, right?
Could you do is the design that you do, an upfront design, is that, free?
Yeah,
I mean, if you did a design, could you give us what the price would be to buy it, and what the price, I
Yeah.
guess, really, there's no cost to do the leasing portion
yeah,
of it.
savings opportunity,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
more that line. So I'd ask you for roof plan, structure plan, electric plan, energy forecast, boom. You know, a couple weeks later, come down, show you both.
Yeah,
We just, if you're gonna do solar, we just wanna be a provider. If it's PPA, great. Then this is easy done. It's procured. If it was the size of the one up the street, it's 30,000 in savings. They're paying like 13.5 cents plus demand charges. We're at like 6 cents on the PPA fixed. So it's really attractive. If you can buy it, great. If you have the money, super. If you wanna use the money on that, great. Because it is a good operating expense, you know, reducer, right? You wanna have the building lean, clean, cheap, and solar can help you get there. If you do it with a PPA, great. If it's 30,000 a year on that building, and that's 20 years, and electricity prices don't go up, that's 600,000 they save, or avoid, whatever you wanna look at. This is a much smaller system. This might be a 60 kilowatt, 75 kilowatt if it's on the roof. I don't have a site plan, I don't know what a canopy would look like. Canopies cost a lot more to install, you get a higher incentive though. But the savings over there, for example, would be much lower for the district if they were to do it. And I'm just using that as a parallel that y'all know, because it's, you know, 2 golf shots away from here.
and do you guys only do the actual panels themselves, or do you guys do canopies as well?
Canopies.
You do?
Yeah, we've done Stonehill College, Upper Cape Regional Tech School, a bunch. I mean, the vast majority of work we do is on roofs because it's low risk, it's cheaper, it's fast. I don't have to go to planning board. There's no like crazy civil engineering. I don't have to put in detention, all the fun stuff you deal with. Have at it.
The reason I asked that
Yeah.
is, one of our alternates was a carport.
Yeah,
So we don't have that right now because we didn't move forward with that, but a canopy could certainly, work as a carport.
that spot. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Just thinking.
we're
out-
doing the Cape Cod Regional Transit Authority, all the Plymouth Brockton buses park under them now, that just got done. So, I mean, whatever. If solar's interesting to you guys, we could help you.
Anybody else have questions?
I guess my question would be, should I follow up with you and you guys, maybe you guys just determine what you wanna do?
Yeah, I'll let you know after the meeting.
That'd be good, okay.
Yeah, we'll follow back up and I'll let you know which direction they wanna go.
Terrific.
So no matter what, it'd be the electrical service that we're already installing, you'd have to put in some inverters and have a location for those,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then how do you size it? You try to hit, what, 80, 100% of the use? And then what happens, so the building is still set up so that it would get power if it wasn't getting it from solar, right?
Right,
You
yeah.
would never be at the risk of not having electricity.
Correct. Yeah, this is a nice to have, this is a cost-saving strategy.
So do you ever get in trouble with the utility company because they figured out how much they're gonna charge for the service based on how much power you're gonna use? So in the old days, way back when, they used to give you everything. Now
Oh,
they-
yeah, I know
now
what you
they-
mean.
Now they don't anymore, and they use a formula to figure out how long it's gonna take to pay back what they put in.
Infrastructure-wise.
Yeah, but now you come in, and they
Yeah.
already made their deal,
Yeah.
and they're getting zilch, and they
Well,
spend.
you're gonna still pay
20
demand
grand.
charges, no matter what, you're still gonna pay demand charges. I mean, they're gonna be lower, but it's, I don't even account for demand charges in the math. But I think you had a couple of questions in there. How do we size it? Do you have an energy model?
No, I was just interested in you size it for like 100% of the usage. Is that what you typically try to get?
It's we do whatever's an appropriate, like, surface area to install it, because some folks do it and it's 15%, you know? Dedham's early childhood facility was 15% of that use. They wanted solar, it was a small piece. They use a ton of electricity, it's a big complex building. But they didn't, we weren't going in parking area, we were going in roofs, we were staying, you know, OSHA setbacks, mechanical access, maintenance, off the walkways, all that stuff you're supposed to do on a roof. So it wasn't that big. Winchester, Vincent Owens School and DPW building, DPW, we covered the roof, but, and that's like 60% of their use. So we size whatever, wherever it can fit without, I mean, it's a police station, right? It's not a solar farm. Solar is just a piece of equipment on there to help you run efficiently. So we size it wherever it makes sense. And then, you know, the utilities, I'm not losing much sleep about how they make their money these days. They made $1 billion at Eversource in 2018, net profit. I'm not losing any sleep for their situation. I mean, I'm glad they're there, they're key, right, we need them.
Yeah, but they never come back and say, hey, this doesn't work with the formula we did up front, figure out what you needed.
So we pair kind of the equipment to the infrastructure that's there, transformer, switch gear, distribution capability, and you still need that capacity because if, you know how humid and hot it is just today, if it was cloudy and you're still running all your technology and your equipment and whatever else you got in there, solar's not, if it's raining and 96 and humid, you're still using all that demand and electric KWH and not getting anything from solar at that time. So you still need all the capacity that they install with their gear. And so, yeah, we leverage it, no doubt. So, but it is, I appreciate the time. It is, it's working for a lot of communities. And if you would follow up with me, then I'll be happy to, you know, put some economics together and share with the committee.
Sure. Appreciate it, thank you.
All right. Super.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
Thank
time.
you so much. Nice meeting you all. Good luck with the building.
Thank you.
Look forward to hearing from you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Take care.
Have a good
Thank you,
night.
you too.
Go ahead.
Just unless it's different for a commercial building, which I doubt it is, you generate electricity based on your solar panels. It feeds back to the whole electrical
So
system.
the grid,
Grid.
yeah.
It reverses your meter. So basically, if you're in a period of time where it's cloudy for weeks, a couple of weeks, you're gonna still use the same amount of electricity that you've
Mhm.
normally used. But when the sun's out and it's generating electricity, it reverses the meter. That's where your savings are. Now, I looked into this. I probably went to 5 places, and every one was the same type of deal. They put it up for you. They charge you a reduced fee. Some people even charge you a fee to pay off for the solar panels, and they were getting the SRECs. And I said I wasn't gonna do it. I finally found someone, a local guy, that put it up on my house, not on my house, I wouldn't put it on the house, I put it on the garage. And I generate my electricity. Not only do I get my electricity generally for under $150 a year, okay? That includes using the house air conditioner, everything. Plus, I get the SRECs, which in a good sunny season amounts to about almost $3,000 a year. So they're making tons of money. The other comment I have is, what scares me about the elementary school, we're responsible
Yeah.
for anything over $5,000. So they put something on the roof and there's a fault in the roof. Freetown's gonna pay
Well,
under the agreement.
I
I don't think they can
did-
do it without
I-
the approval
well,
of
that
the
was
board
my
of selectmen.
point. I did have a conversation with Rick, and Rick said that they were not interested, and that's why he pushed them onto us. That was my conversation with them. So whether they had a follow-up conversation or they're just going through the motions, I have no idea. But that was a conversation that I had with them, because if you remember, that whole side of the building is all old, everything except for the gymnasium. And I don't know if they're gonna put it just on the gym, I don't think so, and Rick did say he doesn't wanna lose anything he's getting from the town, from the net metering credits, so I have no idea.
But they shouldn't, the regional school system should not be
No,
allowed to do
I'm
anything
sitting
to
here
that
thinking, I'm like,
building that
that's-
could cause us to spend money. Like, we just agreed at the town meeting to spend money to asphalt the place, which is correct.
Right.
Because we're responsible for anything on that property
Right.
that's over $5,000, the town
Yeah.
is. So that's something that,
Anyway, so I'm getting mixed messages, and that's why I was just like,
I
I was
didn't
like,
even-
whoa, we had this, you know, like, I don't know.
Well, I got a call
Huh?
from
Did you
Charlie
just saw a guy
because
from
he said that
Freetown?
he had spoken with you, yeah, he had spoken with you.
Charlie told me he had spoken with you.
Alright, okay.
And,
then
but-
he said, well, can I meet you a half hour before, cause they just wanna explain, it's fine,
Yeah.
Actually wanted me before 30, it's like, oh, I don't think it's gonna take
Yeah,
an
it's a lot
hour
of things.
to.
Not only that, we still don't know what we're doing with
Yeah.
the old police station, and if we do anything over there, we may wanna knock it down and build a solar array over there to take care of all the buildings in the area. I have no idea, we haven't even gone down that road yet, so
I mean, the
there are a
nice,
lot of things up in the
the
air.
nice part about that proposal, if there is anything, you know, is you can do it after the building's done. You know?
Yeah,
You don't
it's
have
been
to do it.
designed for that.
Right.
so
You don't have to do it now, so,
and you can work one company against the other to come up with the best deal.
yeah, I guess they got in touch with me because I guess they were working on the school, but they told me they had a relationship with Freetown already, and, so,
The First time
No.
I heard of the guy was
alright.
Looks like we
Monday,
started that
I think. He
relationship.
called me on, it was town meeting day.
I
and
just
was
didn't
like,
want people to
said,
think I just invited this
No,
guy in
no,
here.
and
for
Well,
nothing.
I didn't, I was the same way,
Yeah.
it's like, I didn't, it had been relayed to me that he was,
I
you
mean,
know,
I can't make that decision for the committee, so when you say, do you wanna have him in, yeah, have him in, we'll listen to him, I have
Yeah.
no idea, but then Rick came in and said, yeah, I pushed him onto you guys, cause we're not
maybe
interested,
that's
so I have no idea.
Alright.
Anyway, we
so-
heard him and we can,
figure it out.
So for now, I'm just.
Actually, if he's gonna do a cost-free proposal, why wouldn't we take advantage of that and find out how much it would cost to do an install, just as,
Doesn't
have a
hurt.
baseline.
It
you
doesn't
know?
hurt, so I'll tell them, if it's okay with everybody, I'll tell
It's
them to put
great.
together a cost proposal, to buy.
Yeah.
And what the whole situation is to lease, and at least we'll have something.
Yeah, baseline.
They're only gonna, he's good, that's a very good idea, but what he's gonna do, he's gonna put the number of panels, wherever you want him to put them on that roof, he's gonna put as many as he can.
Yeah.
That's it,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you're
that's
right.
all he can do.
Yeah,
Unless you're gonna build a field, then they'll put as many as they want in a field, you know?
yeah, you're right, they do want as much coverage as possible.
okay,
Alright, on to the good news.
yep, go ahead.
Mike, do you wanna give the construction update?
Sure. So as you can see, the foundations are well underway. We've got the majority of the exterior foundation done. That giant wall you see being built is gonna be poured next week. We've been having it inspected by Andy, the structural engineer. We had them out what was it last
It was
Thursday?
about a week ago.
Yeah, last Thursday. The retention basins are all in infiltration. Everything in the ground is pretty well installed. The interior piers are going to start probably Tuesday. You'll see that work going on, and then from there we'll start doing a lot of the interior utilities, plumbing, electrical, everything underground. The site clearing is still going on. The guys are just slowly picking away at the leftover rocks. It's amazing what they've taken away, and turned into good structural fill. That whole site is now filled with really good structural fill. Trying to think of what else we're going to be seeing. Oh, the clearing to the well location
No, it's
has
not.
started.
Great.
And the idea is, I just called the well company today. What they want to do is they want to bring the guy out there and then have him do his work, and then they're going to replace the area where the swale is. So the swale is doing wonders for the site, keeping water from drowning the building currently. So it'll be exciting to see that going in within, I'm assuming by the end of July, we'll have that work going on.
And steel, they're saying first part of July. So the steel's sitting at Bradford Steel down the street, ready to go. So once they're ready, they'll be starting that. So that'll be a big milestone.
So when did the well guy say he could drill?
He hasn't gotten back to me. I just called him after the meeting today, but he said with notification 3 weeks. So I'm assuming end of July.
What's the high section?
The retaining wall.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the retaining wall, okay.
Yeah, so that's where you'll drive up around back
Oh, okay.
and be able to drive in the back of the building. So yeah,
That
it's,
support, the back around.
yeah, it's quite impressive the way it
Yeah.
looks now. But yeah,
I thought it was that. Are we still putting in a section in case you ever had to put an elevator in?
yes.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought it was.
Wouldn't that be
but-
part of that?
but As I went by.
Part of that same
No, that's
structure,
that's actually inset. There's going to be a shaft wall that's going up for the elevator.
Right.
And so, working in conjunction with that, now we're talking about the elevator, Andy's team did submit for the elevator variance, just to make sure we're safe, you know, so that's gonna go in front of the architectural, board, architectural AAB.
Yeah, the barriers would.
Yeah, so, they'll review that, and fingers crossed, they'll say, no, you don't need an elevator. We're thinking we might have to go in for a hearing. That's typically what, the process ensues, is that they get your package, and then they continue it to a hearing. So we're hoping with, we have the chief's input on operational, who's gonna be up on that second level. It's not gonna be any civilians, just gonna be officers. So, the train of thinking there is that we won't need the elevator, but we needed to make sure we checked it off the list in case we didn't put one in and somebody makes a complaint. It could put the town in a really precarious predicament, so we're going through that motion now.
Perfect.
The overall schedule, the contractor feels they are on schedule. You know, they said maybe a week here or there, one way or the other, but they're actually hitting their steel, they think, is right where they want it to be.
Yeah.
So, no major hurdles on the schedule now. Even with all that rain that we've had, they've been able to overcome that and keep things moving. So, the site work looks great. I think everybody can tell from driving by. Very clean.
So clean.
Contractor's doing a good job of keeping that site clean, and it looks good, so we're happy with that. As far as material testing, we have now just started using SW coal for everything at this point. We have had a few hiccups, one being when we had Briggs scheduled, they didn't show up at the time of a pour. SW coal was able to get there at very short notice in time for the pour. They weren't able to do a rebar inspection, but Andy's team has now confirmed that that rebar was in fact put in place with no issues. We had plenty of pictures at the time, so we think we've got rid of any issues by moving on from Briggs, and we're going to use coal the rest of the project here. So that's working well. I do have a budget update. Sorry to say there's no changes. So the budget looks exactly the same as last month's. No changes to it. So you'll see your contingency at the bottom. Looks the same as last month's. And I don't have a change order log. We did get a couple changes, proposed changes from the contractor today, but I think they're gonna be non-issues. The only one that we really have open is the cost for the proposed carport. We haven't seen any pricing on that yet, which is why you don't have anything in front of you. They're still waiting on pricing from the MEPs. And they had a few other items there, but we think they're covered in the documents, so we think they're gonna go away.
What about the, electrical outlets for the electrical car stuff?
They haven't put any pricing together on
Okay.
that yet.
Thanks.
but it's gonna be, just conduit under the ground.
Right.
So they got a plan from CGA, and they'll give us pricing to put that
Okay.
conduit in. Yeah, so that'll be forthcoming. As far as the owner vendors go, as Mike said, the area to the well water is complete. So we contacted the well driller today. We're seeing how quickly they can get out there, to get that in. Radios, we had a meeting about 2 weeks ago. We did get a proposal from a tower installer, that would like to put the tower up for free. And then they utilize their portion for cell carriers. We had a lot of questions, the chief and myself and Mike, going through that. I don't think anything too critical, but we're working through that to get those answers before we bring it to the committee, because there's, questions that you would have as well. So we're working on that in tandem with our purchase of the radio equipment that already went out to bid. If you remember, Chick Langone Associates handled that procurement. We haven't moved forth with a vendor or contract yet, because we're still, shaking that out to make sure it's exactly what the police needs. But it looks like we're gonna be able to come in under budget on that material. In our budget, under line 25, we had a security system, integrated technology security system, for $150,000. That security system is actually in our contract. So we're gonna be adding that $150 to our radio budget. So if we add that to our radio budget, I feel we'll be in really good shape, actually. And if we can save, 200,000+ on the tower, we'll be in excellent
That's
shape.
huge, yeah.
So that's the plan, and as we get more information on that, I'll update everybody, but it looks like it could be something we can move forward on.
Question on the tower. They're gonna put the tower up free,
Correct.
because they're gonna utilize part of the tower. It's gonna be on town land.
Correct.
We're not gonna get any rental for it,
Correct.
because the cost is gonna be attributed to the construction of the tower.
Correct.
Have you discussed with them, will they service our antennas?
We did not ask that question yet.
That would be a
no.
good
Yeah.
question to ask, because they're gonna be up there anyway all the time, and if there's a problem with an antenna or two,
Yeah.
it needs to be changed.
That's,
They should be able to do that for zip. And I'll tell you why I asked this question. Down at our radio club, Ham Radio Club, we've had a tower for years, okay? And part of the agreement, they pay us rent every month.
mhm.
But part of the agreement is that they service all our antennas, so none of our people have to climb, 100 feet or 200 feet, whatever it is. So that would, and they should not balk at that.
Yeah,
They should not balk at that.
we'll certainly ask that question. That's a good
That'll
question to ask.
save, that'll save the town a lot of money in the long run.
Yeah.
Taylor, do you know if it's a single mast, or is it like the tripod?
I think it's a tripod type.
Yeah, it's not gonna be guided, right?
What's
It's gonna
that?
be,
No.
it's gonna self-stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-supported.
I'm worried about the shadow that's gonna cast on any solar. Speaking of solar.
We just put up a tripod one in Sandwich. And I mean, the webbing is very open. There isn't, there's less steel than you think. We haven't seen the type of tower they proposed, but, yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know what the option is there. We need the tower.
Yeah, no, they have those single mast ones.
Yeah.
Those are self-standing too.
Yeah, just a big cantilever.
We can ask the question, if that's a worry about the solar.
It all depends on where the sun comes up and where the sun
Well,
goes
no, I
down.
already
Well,
know
you
that.
already know that.
Yeah.
I already know that.
Yeah, see? You scoped that out already.
That's why he built the building the way he
We didn't
built
tell
it.
that guy, but.
And furniture, we're having a meeting with Sheehan's Office Furniture next week. The chief will be one of at least 2 meetings. We're gonna set one up with WB Mason too, to get comparative pricing for the furniture. So once we have some quotes on that, we'll let everybody know. And lastly, commissioning. I spoke about this a long time ago, over a year ago. And the first quote we got was from WSP, and that's what we used in our budget to carry a budget line for building commissioning. And so the building commissioning really takes place towards the end of the project. They'll be there for all the startups. They'll check and make sure all the equipment's installed properly. They're another set of eyes because really these HVAC systems have become, pretty technical, and they're the ones that give you another sense of security that they're being installed correctly. Obviously, we're looking at them, the engineers are, but they run through tests on the systems. So we did go out and get 2 other quotes since last time. So WSP, this was the quote that we carried at the time of bid, is $14,000. We got another quote from Synergy, $17,900, and R.W. Sullivan was $27,000. So R.W. Sullivan is way off base. They all went off the same bid. So I'd like to recommend that we move forward with WSP. We're working with them on a number of buildings. I think they're great to work with. I did send this proposal around a year ago. I can resend it around if there's any questions on it. But that's what I recommend us moving forward on as far as commissioning.
Are you talking about line 12?
Yes,
Okay, so you got 20,000 in there, and what was the one that you're recommending, how much?
14. So it'd be a $6,000 savings.
Okay.
They're not gonna mess up the team, are they?
No, they will
Okay.
not. They are excellent. We worked with them in Brewster. We're now working with them in Lakeville, and I think they have an excellent team that comes in. Very easy to work with.
Great. I'll entertain a motion from somebody to go with them.
I'll make that motion.
Do you have a second? All in
Second.
favor?
Uh,
Aye. You got it.
And invoices, I just got the batch from the contractor this week, so I don't have all the invoices, and I'll send those over to you, Tim, and David when I do
Okay.
get those in. That's all I had for an update. We had a meeting today. Things are moving well on site.
Yeah. everything
Everybody's
looks good.
working well together.
Yeah, I can't say enough good things about how this whole, Taylor emailed me today and I'm like, thanks for the update, but I said we have a great team and he agrees, like everybody's like so into what they're doing and good questions around the table and it just, everybody's right on top of it and it makes our life so much easier, so.
There isn't that normal friction that you get. I mean, everybody's working together on
Yeah,
it.
the
Yeah.
contractor's been great.
Yeah.
Contract's been super.
Andy's team has been
Yep.
excellent,
Same thing, yep.
answering questions, and the nice thing is to see Andy's team and the contractor, instead of when an issue comes up,
They
pointing
work it.
fingers and things, like work together, get it done, and move on. So I like
Yeah,
to work
like
with
don't
them.
get that spray stuff all over the place, make sure you go right in there and,
Oh, for
right,
the forms.
apply it, yeah. He's like, all right, all right.
A big variable out there was the stones and the boulders.
Yeah.
We had that could have gone either way, and
We've got
you can, we wrote a spec based on the test pits we did, we knew what was out there, but we can't tell the contractor the process. We were hoping he'd bring in a crusher, and it would be beneficial to everybody. He did, and it worked out very well. So that was basically the going rate for the stone job out there is about $1,000 a stone when they get you on trench rock and mass excavation rock, so.
I think the only thing we really need to worry about right now is the drilling of the well, correct?
And the septic system.
And the septic
They haven't
system.
done the
That's right.
excavation for the septic
Yep.
yet, but we're in good shape.
Yeah, I can't imagine, they're gonna need construction water. So I can't imagine they don't wanna get it set up soon, because
Yeah.
they'll be hauling it all in. The mason's gonna need water, everything.
Yeah. That's why they're pushing for the well too.
How much water you need to have per minute?
I'm not sure what that number is.
We only need, we'd be fine at 10 gallons,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, good.
I thought I heard 800 gallons a day. Was I remembering that correct?
So that,
It seemed that
what-
rather,
We can get that for you, Paul. It was
I
in
think-
No, I mean,
the well engineers.
that might
yeah.
be, you might have heard what the septic was designed for.
okay.
I mean, 10 gallons a minute isn't much at all. I mean,
No,
that's
but
not bad
I
at
think,
all.
we, you know, we'd be in trouble if we got anything less than that.
Listen to that, yeah.
So,
All right,
keep our fingers crossed. There's not much science to it. They just start drilling.
To get water.
all right, we good?
So the only thing,
Yep,
I'll just mention,
sure.
it has been mentioned to me, if we could set a day for the meeting, like, we've been doing it on Thursday, which is, but, like, say the third Thursday of the month or something like that, because of some of these guys who are missing today, that's a problem.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
do we think,
whatever, it might- whatever.
do we still wanna do one a month, or do we wanna spread them out? I mean,
I think one a month is good.
yeah, all right. So we can set the date now,
Yeah.
and then,
But kinda like
Yeah,
the
like
standing,
the first Thursday of every month, I think works good.
okay.
But for this next coming one, that's July 4th, so I'd say let's move that one.
so you wanna go to the second Thursday of every month?
Yeah, we could go to the second
Okay.
Thursday of every month.
That works, because then it'll be the opposite week of when we have our board
Yeah.
meetings, so that'll be good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
So, all right, so our next meeting would be the 11th.
right, so then if any invoices or anything come up, we'll have them at the next meeting and we'll be good
Yeah,
to
I
go.
actually, if we do it the second, I might be able to have the invoices done and ready for our meetings.
Then that's perfect,
Yeah.
yeah, that works.
Yeah, that works good.
Alright. Thank you for bringing that up, I
No
didn't know that.
I'm flexible.
Alright, let's go home,
Alright,
Bruins are on.
Yep.
Motion to adjourn.
motion seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yay.